The DFC was founded about 5.5 years ago by Bob Anderson. He's a artist and filmmaker here in Detroit. He was working on a film that was being produced with a grant from the Public Benefit Corporation, which is an organization that finances programming for Detroit's access channels. They use franchise fees and give grants. And at the time, he already had a camera of his own. He had some access to lights and things like that, but he was starting to realize that there was nowhere really in town that people could go to edit, at least to edit in film. You know, you could get your hands on some video editing here and there, but he heard about, actually, this piece of equipment, the Steenbeck, it's a 16mm flatbed editor. He heard about this coming available on the used equipment market, and he approached Public Benefit about buying it and making it available to local filmmakers. And they said, well, if you can show there's support for it, people will use it, we'll give you the money to buy it. And he put together a flyer with a picture of the Steenbeck and some info about his ideas for starting a film co-op, and he borrowed some mailing lists from the DPA and Detroit Area Film and Television and some other groups, and they were hoping to get maybe 30 people out to this meeting to talk about it, and had like 65 people show up, and that was the first meeting for what became the Detroit Filmmakers Coalition. Well, the DFC is a nonprofit media arts center to support independent film in the area, and we do it in a number of ways. We have a fair amount of equipment now that's available for rent to members. We are a member-based group. We give filmmaking classes and workshops. We teach people how to make films, how to use 16mm cameras and other equipment, how to edit. We also get involved some with screenings. We do screenings to help bring independent film to the public and help people realize that there is film being done in Detroit, and try and promote the area as a place to make film, and that there's a lot of talent in the area doing it. One of our most popular things that we offer is our filmmaking class. We have a series of 3 13-week classes that take you through 16mm filmmaking. The Film 1 class is primarily 16mm cinematography, and it doesn't really deal with sound at all, but it teaches people how to operate the camera, how to read a light meter, how to get proper exposure on the film. And each student in the class shoots about 100 feet of film and edits it without sound, so they learn how to cut and splice the film as well. The second class, Film 2, is where they introduce sound, and they learn how to shoot with sync sound, learn how to record the sound, how to edit with sound and keep it in sync so that the lips match the sound coming out of their mouths. And then there's an advanced class, Film 3, that just kind of takes you a little further in the process in how to make a finished film. Well, I guess one of the advantages of working here is you have an area that's not jaded about film. One of the stories I've heard about shooting around Los Angeles is that, there's guys who cruise around Los Angeles looking for film crews, and when they find one, they'll go to the trunk of their car and pull out a chainsaw and start revving it up and wait for some PA to be sent over with $50 to ask them to come back another day. The other thing is that they're so used to having films shot around there that there's no novelty in it, whereas around here you tell somebody you're making a movie and their eyes get big, and they'll go out of their way to help you. Most people will. You'll run into the occasional grouch, but for the most part people are excited when they hear that there's film being made in this area. So you can tap into a lot of things with that excitement. In fact, sometimes we call it cinematic immunity. You can get away with almost anything if you say you're working on a movie. But in addition to that, there's a lot of resources. There's a lot of people who mostly do commercials and industrials, and if you're doing something that has a higher goal than selling a car or selling bread, then a lot of times you can get people with a lot of experience and a lot of talent excited about your project and being willing to to do a lot for very little in terms of cash. So you can make your resources go a long way using some of the local talent. I do have to say I love film. You know, there's nothing quite like sitting in a darkened theater and watching those dreams unfold and having it take you to a place that you've never been before, or giving you a point of view from you know, looking at the world through that filmmaker's eyes. And that excites me, whether it's, you know, whether I'm working on the film and helping a filmmaker get those visions onto the film, or whether I'm just, you know, helping a filmmaker get access to equipment that he couldn't afford otherwise. So that I guess that's what really excites me. I'd like us to help get the word out more that Detroit is a good place to come and shoot films. I mean, I'd like to see, you know, productions from outside the area come in more, and you know, to try and help people realize that there is a lot of talent and a lot of experience here that can be tapped into.